All right, we're going to get this video going real quick. I'm behind because I had no AC in the house and it was too hot. I was too aggravated. So here we go. So this is 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, Public Displays of Contention. So we're going to start out with Kalani and Asuelu. Kalani wants to go meet Asuelu's mother and sister, Tammy, and his red-eyed monster mama. I don't know why her eyes are red. She smoked weed. We don't know. I'm not just saying allegedly. So they're talking on the pier, and Kalani just wants to get them to understand he has no money. We have no money. And where do you want him to get it from, basically? And they're just not getting it. Tammy is sitting there saying, well, Kalani, why don't you work? You lazy. Mind your business. Like, we doing fine for 2 years over here with him working part-time at an ice cream shop and me not working with my 2 kids. And they're telling her, no, your parents take care of you. Basically, you live in their house. So you don't have no real bills. And his money should come to us. And they're talking about, why can't Asuelo's money come to us? You get a job. And Tammy's like, well, I work. I take my kids here. I do this. I do that. And I'm just like, y'all live in the States. And talking about sending money back home. Y'all not back home. So who he sending the money to? The church and his father? I'm like, why is the dad not in the States? It's a lot going on. I'm very confused about the whole situation. And there's pieces that are just not connecting for me. And Kalani is really calm. She's just listening to them. And she keeps saying, like, I'm sorry. This is what it is. We don't have extra money, $1,000 to send your family. And his mom is like, no, if I want to take him back home with me, I'm done. I want to take him back home to Samoa, and I want him to continue working where he was working there to keep money in the house. And Tammy's like, well, you got pregnant on purpose, and it's your fault. You're a manipulator. You're controlling. And I'm just like, and I am very logical. I'm just logical. Things, to me, I feel like if you think things through before you do things, you will avoid a whole lot of stress and pressure in your life. Certain things can go outside of your control. But Kalani, you got pregnant because you slept with him on the first go around and boom, you was pregnant. Why have another one? Why have unprotected sex? And you don't work. And he wasn't working. He barely worked. So now you're either on the system or on your family because they help you out a lot. Like, kids are expensive. I have one, and that's why I said I have one. Kids are expensive. And if you're not working and he's not working because you're home taking care of the kids, and I'm sure daycare is so expensive to put them in, you might as well stay home. But his family is just too much. And Tammy's like, Kalani, I don't like you. I don't care. And the mother says, I don't care about the kids. What? And she's like, well, I'm sorry that I loved him, and I loved him when he had nothing, and I still married him and still brought him over here. And the sisters, so Kalani's like, I'm going to be done because you're not understanding what I'm saying, so I'm going to walk away before it gets really escalated. She starts walking away, and Tammy is trying to lunge at her, and Kalani isn't turning around. Kalani isn't flinching. She's just like, la, 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 and she's still walking. And the mother, I don't know what kind of strength the mother has, or is Tammy that weak that she is like, Tammy, no, I'm going to beat you up, Kalani. This is the sister. Tammy saying, I'm going to beat you up, Kalani. The next time I see you, I'm going to beat you up. Me? I'd have turned around. Let's make it happen now and get it out the way so we can stop dealing with you. So Kalani goes home, and she's telling Asuelu what happened. She goes, let's just go. I'm ready to get out of here. I can't take this anymore. Your family is toxic, and they're crazy. And he's like, well, what happened? So he's telling her what happened. And he's missing the whole concept of your family is just trying to get money out of you, and that's how they show their love. And then he's just looking around like confused as usual because he's challenged. And he's saying, so how did it end? She said, your sister tried to attack me, and if she would have touched me, I would have dropped her. He takes that and says, what if Tammy would have beat you up? That's not the point. Like, what? That's not the point. The point is your sister tried to fight me because you're not giving them money that we don't have. And he's like, she goes, I swear I can drop you. Kalani's a big girl. Okay, she's a big girl. I mean, and all big people can't fight, but I'm sorry. her sister is like 4 foot something. Kalani looks to be 5'7". And that, I don't know if that had been a fair fight. I don't even know. Like, she might have got a good hit. I don't know. The point is, I swear they'll miss the point about this whole fight. And Kalani's like, listen, I could drop you. Like, stop it. Like, this is not the point. The point is, we have to leave. Your family's crazy. And they're assholes. She didn't say, she could have said they're acting like assholes, not calling. And he said, that's not fair. Don't do that. Don't call me that. And then he goes, I could beat you up, Kalani. And I'm like, what is happening? And she looks at him like, and she starts crying because she's like, you're missing the fucking point, you idiot. And she walks out the room and he calls her, you fucking asshole. He calls her the same thing she called his parents. She goes and talks to her sister and they're both crying like, what did I get myself into? What kind of family is this? And I don't want to deal with them anymore. And why am I married? Who did it to you, Kalani? You. You put yourself in this position. Nobody else did. When you got pregnant with the first one, you saw how childish she was acting, how he had Oliver over his head. He didn't put him in a seatbelt. Like, you saw a lot of these signs, but yet you still laid it low, spread it wide, and got pregnant. And he has a part-time job at an ice cream shop, I'm sure, making minimum wage. So what is that? Milk? Food? Where's the other money coming from? The show? I mean, but we're going to move on. Elizabeth and Andre, they go to the airport to get her family. It's her sister, her mom, and the stepdad, and they're all going to stay in this Airbnb with Libby's father and Chuck, the brother. And I'm like, wow, how'd that work out? But listen, if you've been married such a long time and y'all get along because there's no animosity, there's no tension, great, I love it. I wish all people can do that and realize there's no harm, no foul. We moved on, it didn't work out. And just do this for the kids. But as soon as they get in the car, Elizabeth's sister is like, ugh, this is Moldova. It looks like what I thought it was going to look like, gloomy and depressing. Like, she just goes in and starts already. And it's just like, girl, stop. Then stay your ass back in America. But they go to this Airbnb, which looks like a freaking palace. Looks amazing over there. And Andre's mom cooked food again. And he's like, try it, try it. And they're like, what is that? Of course, noses turned up, not even asking the question of what it is before they start tearing down what it tastes like and what it could be. He said it was pig fat. I'm like, yep, no thank you. I'd have had something else. But you don't have to instantly turn your nose up at people's food and their culture because it's not polite. And he said, we don't have french fries here, basically. And I'm just like, oh, Andre, like, you go to other countries to get culture and to understand what they eat, how they eat it. Some things may not look good to you. You don't have to eat it, but you don't have to have a whole facial expression with it. That's just arrogant. But they have a good time. They're singing their Moldovan anthem, country anthem, like, and it was nice. They didn't fight. There was no argument, so it worked out. Then Libby and her mom and sister, and I think it was Andre's brother's wife, her sister-in-law, there we go, to go look at dresses, and the dresses look like they're going to churn butter. Like, it is just really traditional garb, and it's just, ugh. Okay, so then we have Tanya and Sinjin. Tanya is so much. Like, I want to say she could be eccentric, but she's more than that. I don't even know how to describe her personality. It's like she has this focused goal in mind. And like Sinjin said before, I'm just a character in your book. I clearly don't have a part in your book. And she's just aggressive with this whole, with her concept of what their marriage should look like. Everybody's marriage should be happy, no problems, no fighting. We have all the money we need. We're never going to go into any kind of, ups and downs. It's always going to be perfect. And she just, anyway. So they had a barbecue. The food looked amazing because the entire time Sinjin and Tanya were arguing, as I'm going to explain to you, Tanya did not put that food down. She didn't budge with that food. So they go to see his dad and his brother, and he's saying he wants to buy land in South Africa, not in America. And Tanya's like, no, I don't want to have kids in South Africa. And Sinjin's like, who said kids? He don't want to have kids. And he said the American dream was Tanya's, not my idea. The family is saying Sinjin is a free spirit. Sinjin is not a person where he works 9 to 5, he comes home, has a beer, he eats dinner, he goes to bed. That is not who he is. That is not who he has been. Tanya knew that, or should have known that by now. And she's like, well, why hasn't he settled down yet? It's been 2 years and he's been in every direction. He hasn't gotten a job yet. And she's freaking out. And then she gets up and leaves and goes into the room with her plate of food. Okay, she's like, no, I'm not leaving this food here. And the family is like, Tanya doesn't know who Sinjin is. He said, I like bartending and just living as I live. And she can't get that concept. She's like, when, Sinjin? When are you going to calm down and realize we need this and we need that? And he's like, babe, that's your dream. I like it here. This is how I was born and raised. You met me the same way. And she has to stop. He's not for you if he's not what's going to happen or down the line. He said, who said kids? So, like, y'all clearly are not on the same page, and he's tried to tell you twice, and you still keep trying to change his narrative to what yours is, and it's not working out. If someone tells me, I don't know what I want to do in the next 5 to 10 years, we had nothing to talk about. We could be friends. But if my goal is to buy a home, be able to travel, pay off bill, whatever, if that's, and yours is not halfway close to mine or evolving to be that, then we have nothing to talk about. That's what Tanya is doing to Sinjin. He has no guide. He's like, he lets the day fly by and he's been fine. So let her cry and yada, yada, yada. Colt and Jess. So Colt is talking to her on the phone and he wants Jess to come back to Vegas. And I'm like, Colt, why are you acting like you live in this house by yourself? You do not. You can't expect to have random women in this house that you live with your mama. It's not fair. Debbie is old. She don't want to see all these women in and out the house and having sex with random people. And it just don't work. So, and then he says, I have to be honest with Jess. And I have to tell her that when we broke up, I was dating other women and I was lonely. Colt, how do you keep finding all these women? But whatever. But he's not mentioning, and somebody better tell her before she comes to Vegas, that he slept with Vanessa. One time it didn't work out and they moved on. And Colt tells Debbie that he wants Jess to move in with him in Vegas. And Debbie's like, you going to tell him about Vanessa? Because Vanessa lived with him now. She went through a divorce. She had nowhere to go. Guess where she's staying? At the house. Does Jess know? No. Was she going to find out? Yeah. When? I hope before, because she's going to start throwing shoes at you again. Sorry, doggone kids want to text me 1,000 texts. Anyway, Angela and Michael, they sit down after she left that little blow-up scene with his aunt, and she's yelling at Michael. And I'm going to play the video for y'all at the end of this because the video is literally 2 minutes long of her going ham on Michael. But it's insane. You'll see the video at the end. Let me just put it right now so I can get it out because it was... No. I'm going to play at the end because I want to get it out. It's insane how she deals with him, how she talks to him. She keeps saying she's done. It's no wedding. She keeps trying to threaten this and threaten that. And she keeps saying, I'm an American. I have the right. I'm an American. But girl, you are in was it Nigeria? No. She's in Africa where he lives. And he's like, you can't make me bow down to you. And I don't do that. You ain't Jesus. He's not asking you for that. He's asking for basic submissiveness. And the word is what's bothering her. And he needs to understand or get to understand how to get her to just be a wife. And when I say be a wife, it's a broad spectrum. It's a big scope of what being a wife is for every individual couple. Being a wife of 20 years to me means, cooking dinner when he doesn't. We alternate, we rotate. Making the bed when he doesn't, we alternate and rotate. We pay the bills together. We do stuff together. We make decisions together. That's what a wife is to me. What a wife is not to me is cooking, cleaning, working, and doing everything you tell me to do because you think it's the best thing to do. That's not what works for me in my household, but it may be what works for somebody else in their household. But he's not asking that, and he doesn't know how to talk to her because she's always yelling at him like he's a damn kid. And then she hires a translator because she wants to invite Michael's mother over and his brother to understand where she's coming from when she, with the whole situation, because she thinks Michael is not telling both people the same thing. And apparently his aunt doesn't matter, but Michael's mother matters to her. So she's getting the translator together and she's sitting there, she's talking to the translator. Now, if me and my husband are sitting here, I'm looking at you and I'm going to glance over to see what he's saying or what his expressions are. Sweetie, look at me. Don't look at Michael. Keep looking at Michael. You here for me. I paid you. Michael ain't a prize to nobody but you. But we're going to stop because everybody loves their monkey. So whatever. But she need to calm that down. That jealousy is not cute. She tells the mom, you know, Michael and me are 50-50. The brother chimes in and says, but the man's the head of the household. She goes, no, Michael and me and 50-50 be different. And Michael agrees and it's just a whole whatever. And the mom's like, I agree. If Michael's okay with it, then I'm okay with it too. And she tells him about she may not be able to have a baby. And the mother's like, God will bless your marriage. You know, it will hopefully happen. We gonna see. And then Larissa and Eric, they're just nonsense. They're fluff. They go to this home store, and clearly it's a high-end store. And they have like Tory Burch plates and cups and coffee mugs. Why, Eric, why are you there with her? Why? Because your apartment don't have much. You have a roommate because you can't pay your rent. Why are you at this store? She sits down, looks at this couch, and she's like, oh, this couch is really nice. Oh, how much is this couch? $11,000. And Eric wanted to pay $400. Why is she in the store? You better go on over to Ashley Furniture and cut it out. And then she sits down. Oh, Eriki, I want a boob job. It made me feel better about myself and my life and how you look at me. And a boob job is $14,000. He can't even get an $11,000 couch, but you want him to get and or finance boobs for you. And all she wants is cosmetic. Girl, your kids are back in your country with what? Doing what with who? Worry about your kids and getting your kids over here and you getting a damn job. How about that? Now, don't go anywhere. Look at the video so you can see the whole debacle with Angela and Michael, because that was a hot ass mess. And she had her finger in his face. You're going to see. Just watch the video.
When Michael refused to stand up for me and stayed with his aunt at the restaurant, that right there told me either Michael's been lying to me this whole time or he's lying to his family. Because Michael already knows I'm not, and I repeat, I am not going to be the submissive wife that they suggest to Michael that I be. And you know something else that ain't none of her business.
She told you what.
And why didn't you speak up and tell her?
I spoke up. I spoke up.
I walked up on you telling her I will change. I am who I am and you take it or leave it.
Will you calm down?
Will you calm down? You can lie all day in a calm voice and I can get upset when you make me upset and talk loud. Because that's my culture. I don't sit back here and pretend to be who the I'm not. I have it from day one. Michael never spoke up for me one damn time and said, no, she's not going to be submissive. We're going to be 50-50. He did not do that. That is not who I want to be married to. I think he needs to get married to his family and let me take my ass right back home to America. Listen, get your ass out and go to your mama's.
Don't talk like that.
Do you think you can tell me what to do?
Is this submissive of a thing?
I'm not doing it. You can't make me, and that's it. You can't make me.
You and I know.
I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. Do you get me?
Nobody understands.
You get me?
You and I.
Get your hand down from my face.
Stop all this.
If you get your ass for the day,
you to put your hand down.
make me.
Put your hands down.
Make me.
Put your hands down.
Make me.